Good afternoon, welcome to Colin's Kitchen. I'm Colin, I'm vegan, this is the kitchen. We've got a mate here, a chap from a band a lot of people will know out there, Kevin Haskins from BAUHAUS. Thanks for coming, Kev.
Thanks for having me.
And what we're going to do, we're going to do some cooking, have a bit of fun, ask a few questions, see what a few answers are, and enjoy. Let's get cooking, sir.
Right, here we go then.
Right, so a lot of people will also know he's English. For anyone out there who doesn't know, he is. And how long have you been in the States now?
I've been here for 25 years.
25 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here, what, 20? Give or take a couple.
Yeah.
But, so, here or England, what do you think is your favourite?
Why did you ask me that? You said you wouldn't ask me.
Yeah, well.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, there's some things I miss and love about England, but I feel like I feel more at home here, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the weather's better.
The weather is far better. But it's funny, today is a somewhat cold, grey, possibility of drizzle, sir.
It is, it's like England.
And I love these days now.
Yeah, same here.
Because they're like, you know, they're not every bleeding day.
Yeah.
And they're refreshing.
Yeah.
It's odd, isn't it? Like, be careful what you wish for.
I know. Because in England it was always like this.
Yeah.
But worse. And I'm like you now, the novelty is great. You can put the fire on, put a TV on, watch a movie, and get all cuddly on the couch.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
In England you would never, it's like another miserable day. Alright, so let's get to it then, Kev.
Okay. So, Colin, could you put 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil in the beautiful new pan there?
Yes, chef. In this new frying pan here.
Yeah. I mean, you can guesstimate it.
I'll guess it. We'll go around the old pan. Turn it on now, sir?
Yeah. Let's get going.
Looks good to you, chef?
Fantastic.
Marvellous. So, for ladies and gentlemen over there, our first goth rocker chef is in the kitchen, and I'm looking forward to it. He's going to tell me what to do, so I'm just being the sous chef today.
Right. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be making.
Lovely.
So actually there's a little story to this. I was very fortunate enough to go on vacation in Bali a couple of years ago. And it was my family, and there was about 10 of us, and we rented this house, really nice house, and just down the driveway, at the beginning of the driveway, there was this little Indian restaurant called Warung Tulsi, which I probably pronounced that wrong, run by this beautiful woman called Rani Dabar.
Yeah.
And the food was just amazing, and it was all happened to be vegan. Like if you're ever it's in Ubud in Bali, you've got to go to this restaurant.
I'll go
so
now.
Good.
I'll get them.
So we became friendly with her, and we'd go there a lot, and we asked her for her recipes, and she said, "Well, I can give you a cooking lesson." So,
oh really?
A few of us went down in the morning, and it was great. I had a great time, and she wrote out these recipes. So this recipe is based on her recipe.
Great.
All I've done really is kind of cooked it in a little bit of a different order, and I've added coconut cream, and it's kind of basically an Indian dish, but I've kind of
tweaked it.
It's like a Thai Indian fusion, if you will. So,
oh, we will. Sounds great.
I usually use white rice, but I didn't have any at home, so I thought let's go with quinoa, because it's just really nice. It's better for you really than rice. Got lots of protein. So we just put that into a cup of that into 2 cups of water.
Lovely.
And you're actually supposed to kind of wash quinoa. Kind of rinse it.
Oh, I'm not fussy around it. Okay, Kev. So what we got here then?
Well, we've got a red onion, Colin.
Very nice.
Now, kids at home, don't copy my technique, because I don't know what I'm doing, basically. Which is
it looks very
which
professional
is kind
to
of
me.
the story of my life. Make it up as you go along and get away with murder.
So is that how it was when you were a kid, being a musician?
Basically, yeah.
Marvellous.
We used to have a joke in BAUHAUS. It was something like, "Oh, we're getting away with murder. Or, it's money for old rope." You know, very British, self-depreciating in nature. But no, I'm joking.
So, did you want to be a musician from being a kid when you were at school?
Well, the turning point which everybody references as British was seeing David Bowie on Top of the Pops doing Starman. It just, you know, blew my mind, and it was just really fascinating to see. You know, he's very androgynous. Is this a guy? Is this a girl? And it was just like fascinating on so many levels. And so yeah, that was that was the spark. And I remember I had a careers class at school. It was, you know, you were supposed to try and, you know, decide what you wanted to do with the rest of your life. And I always remember one day they had a little magazine that they would send to the schools, and I was looking through it, and there was a double-page spread in the centre, and it was John Peel being interviewed, and it said, "So you want to be a rock star?" And I just read that headline, and I was like, yes. Because that was after the Bowie thing. And so that was it. You know, I was.
Because you met him, didn't you? You worked on The Hunger.
Yeah.
Didn't he like your cigarette or something?
He did.
Gagging for a ciggy.
Well, I wanted a light for my cigarette. It was at the end of the day, and I was standing. There was like a wall here, and then this alcove.
Right.
And then another room off the other side. And Coco's, the sister, was standing right here, and I said, "Oh, do you have a light for a cigarette?" And she said, "No, but I think David does." And I was like, and I didn't know, but he was standing immediately around the corner. So he came round with a lighter.
Classic.
We should have a. And I was like this. I was so nervous, and he was trying to follow my lighter.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yes, he did. Eventually, he lit my cigarette. Now we're going to saute some red onions, which I've already prepared.
Lovely. Lovely, Fanny.
So put those in here. There we go. Would you have a wooden spoon or
I'll have one.
or something?
Coming straight up, sir.
Something perfect. That's
There we are.
just what I had in mind.
So have you always cooked?
No. I mean, yes, but when I became a vegan, it kind of inspired me to get into cooking, and so I cook a lot more now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's really funny, really relaxing as well. You know, you get home from a hard day's work.
Yeah. Playing drums. Because you're more than a drummer. I mean, produce, write.
Yeah, at the moment I'm working on a book about my old band BAUHAUS. A very good friend of mine one day suggested, well, it was like a year ago, and he said, because I was the guy that kept everything in, you know, like all the memorabilia, the tour programs, everything, like, and he said, "Have you got all this great stuff? Why don't you put it in a book?" So, well, that's a great idea, because otherwise, I don't know why I have this big container full of this stuff. So, I looked into publishers, and when they offered me what they were going to offer me, I decided, you know, this is going to be a lot of work, and that's not going to do it for me. No. So I decided to self-publish.
Brilliant.
And I've been really enjoying the whole process, like everything to do with it, like researching, publishing, and then getting into all the memorabilia and sorting it out. And I kept running into this guy at shows, we just kind of hit it off, and then I'd see him at the next show, and then on the third show, I think it was the Dams, I think, at the Fonda, and we were having a chat, and he said, well, what are you doing now? And I said, oh, I'm doing this book. And he said, that's what I do. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. You've got to come around my house and see myself. So I went around and done these beautiful box sets for like Sigur Rós and Pixies, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, Beck, and really tasteful, unique, very creative guy. And I just said, Jeff, this is a no-brainer. You've got to work on this book. And he's it's just amazing. Like his creative, his ideas and creativeness and his passion. And he's been kind of holding my hand, and he brought in a design team and photographer, and like everything's just flowed really well. Right. And everyone who's been involved, just all happen to be fans. Right. So
you're keeping it within the.
It's great, yeah. So it's so it's going to come out later this year.
Oh, great.
And I'm trying to just finish up on the writing. I've been writing some texts, some stories. Right. Like,
do you remember them all? You got a few stories.
I know, but I wish I remember far more than I can. But I remember, you remember the good stories, and and I'm only going to put positive stuff in there, because sometimes you can read books about bands and it gets a bit negative. Yeah. But I just want this to be a celebration of the band. Yeah. This is coming along nicely.
It's looking great.
It's caramelizing, I believe it's called. So.
I think you're right.
I must kind of let that burn.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like when people meet you, they have a completely different idea of how you would be because of the band and the style? Do they have a preconceived, is it going to be all dark and?
Well, we used to, back in the day, we used to get letters from practitioners of black magic, inviting us to these rituals.
Not the chocolates.
No. I wish.
Oh, the orange cream,
like completely, assuming that we totally would be into that and would be showing up. Yeah. Great. So
you'd be down the pub reading that. Pint a pint.
So, I don't know. I can't remember anyone saying, "Oh, or being disappointed."
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, absolutely not. You're very charming chaps, tall, good-looking. What more do they want? Plays the drums, and there you go.
Yeah.
Full package.
We now need to add the canned tomatoes, or tomatoes.
The tomatoes?
Yes. If you'd like to assist me, sir.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Well, I've got some organic 3-grain tempeh from Trader Joe's. This is a protein powerhouse for vegans.
Yeah.
In fact, this with the quinoa as well, that's going to bump up the protein. So this is a very good protein dish that we're going to cook.
And can you get that anywhere?
I think, well, not anywhere, but I think now, even the larger markets are starting to carry lots of vegan products, which is amazing and great.
Because they use it as bacon as well, fake bacon, which tastes really good.
They just opened a store called Sprouts here, kind of near my house. Yeah. And they do this great tempeh bacon. It's like a smoked bacon flavour, and I just love it.
Tastes great. Enough of it. When you get the urge for a bacon sandwich.
Exactly, yeah.
And a cup of tea.
Yeah. So I'm going to cut this up into little cubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get closer to this. Very nice.
So, and then this. As I said, I'm not a professional chef.
None of us are, sir.
One thing that was good about becoming vegan, it got me into cooking. I think because I obviously became a lot more aware of what I was eating, and also I did some research to make sure I was getting enough protein and B vitamins and all that stuff. So I think in the process of doing that, I started to see recipes, and then I got into cooking at home, and I really enjoy it. It's great. It's really relaxing and fun.
Yeah.
I was actually looking. I love scoring. I do lots of scoring work now, and I love doing documentaries. And I was just looking for a documentary to score, or looking for directors. And I was doing a bit of research, and I came across this documentary called Earthlings, and I read the synopsis, and I thought this looks interesting. No, actually, it was Unity that I came across.
Right.
That's right. This was like 4 years ago, so it was just like in development stage, and that looked really interesting. And I thought, well, I should write to the director. It's Shaun, somebody, I can't remember his name.
No, I don't know.
But I thought, well, I should watch his previous documentary before I write. So I think that evening I sat down on my own, and it starts off really beautiful, and there's lots of nature and animals for about like 5 or 10 minutes, and it's kind of putting forth this idea that as human beings, when you say the word earthlings, you immediately think, well, human beings, we're the earthlings, and it's a little bit kind of an arrogant stance. Shaun's trying to put the idea across of, are we not all earthlings, all living creatures on the planet, and that we should all be aware of that and kind of respect each other as equals in a way, So anyway, I started watching this movie, and then it took a turn.
Yeah, the dark turn.
And I thought, Kevin, just stay with this. I wasn't expecting to be watching this film about. It's just about basically every possible thing you can think of that's done to animals that's extremely cruel and horrific. It's in this movie. So all those little, sometimes you'll see on Facebook little films of stuff in slaughterhouses or animal testing, and well, imagine like an hour and a half of that all in one go. There was even things I didn't know about. I think it was in India that they rub salt into the cows or horses' eyes before they go to the tanning slaughter place or something. And it's just like, it was one thing after another. And by the time it was finished, I felt ill. I felt I felt like I'd been beaten up. And I just went straight to the fridge, and I got all the meat out and threw it in the trash. And I became a vegan there and then. And I honestly can say I don't miss that now. I think it helps also to, helps to have the knowledge that you're not, that you are not being part of this cruelty, for one thing. I also found after the fact that being vegan is very good to help the environment. Because apparently by the year 2050, the whole factory farming industry is going to become completely unsustainable. It takes up so many resources, and I could go on and on, but it's like, if you go and do the research, you can see
it makes more sense in more ways than one.
And then there's health benefits, and there's so many benefits to it, and so I just feel every day I feel good when I'm eating, because I know that I'm being kinder to my own body and to other animals and so on. So.
And you're looking great.
Thank you, sir.
For an old bloke like myself.
Yes.
Suits you.
Thank you. It suits you, sir.
Right, back to the cooking.
Adding the tempeh, which is being cut into little cubes.
Any salt and pepper? Or?
You put I noticed you like
a
bit of salt.
Yeah, I like a bit of salt.
You can put a little bit in.
Okay. Just tell me when to stop. Hang on a minute. That enough?
Okay.
Okay. Pepper? No?
Well, we've got some pretty heavy
Oh,
gravy.
good.
Oh, actually, I made a little faux pas.
What's happened?
We were supposed to add the mustard seeds in with the when the onions were
Just bang 'em in.
It doesn't
Fine.
really matter.
Yeah, it'll be fine. How many?
Let's see now.
Of course, we're all professional here.
2 teaspoons
Oh, there you go, nurse.
of mustard seeds. Like so.
Marvellous. Looks great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can please just give it a little
Give us
stir.
Okay. Bloody rock stars.
1 teaspoon of turmeric, ground turmeric, and you can get this stuff at your local Indian supply store. I saw on one of your videos, Colin, that you have quite a nice looking place you go to for your Indian spices.
Yeah,
and
Indian
stuff.
sweet and spice is great. There's one just around the corner, and there's one over in Atwater Village. And I love it because you can go in and get a tin of Heinz baked beans, some Indian spices, and a sitar or a tabla.
Nice.
So it's always good to go in and just, 'cause you just never know what you're going to get,
Right.
you know, and it's brilliant.
I just added 2 teaspoons of coriander ground powder. Oh, this stuff smells so good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we need 2 teaspoons of. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. Puji garam masala.
Did you say that again?
This is not exactly what I just said, but it's got masala on the box.
Fine,
So
fine. Bang it in, bang it in.
I thought that's good enough for me. We need to get this in now. The coconut cream, it's extra thick and rich. This is from Trader Joe's.
And that's 2 cans.
2 cans are going in.
Marvellous. Now, what part of England did you grow up?
I grew up in Northampton, which is about 70 miles north of London.
Yeah. Played there a few times.
You have?
Yeah. Can't remember where, I was very drunk now.
Known for boots and shoes.
Which we like.
Yes, and I actually have a pair of Dr. Martens that they're made just outside of Northampton, and these are vegan Dr. Martens. I'm having them.
Now, it's interesting because when I saw them, you can't tell whether they're leather or not leather.
Right.
And like with these ones, and they're not. I've been buying lots of, because people, when they think, oh, I'm going to become vegan, sometimes don't consider the byproducts like the leather, the wool, and all that stuff, which is part of the whole growing thing anyway for me. I just, you know. But the products I find now, like suits, because people who know me, and Kevin always dresses really well, he's always suited and booted. I thought it might be hard to get what I wanted unless you're going to go to a specialist or a tailor, and it's going to cost fortunes. But there's so many good clothes out there, which aren't, you know, wool or anything to do with a bit of misery for the poor animals.
Yes. Oh gosh, we must add the garlic. You know what?
Jamie Oliver would be like happy with you, wouldn't he?
Another thing with garlic, I like to actually seriously add it towards the end of the cooking process. I do, because it can actually kind of, you know, if you put it in first, it can get a bit burned.
It gets lost, yeah.
And you know, it's I think it's good to add it. I think that happened for a reason then.
Yeah, I think you're right. So not taking away from your gorgeous meal, sir, I made a vegan sausage roll. Now, for anyone who doesn't think you can have munchie gear, we have the sausage roll. And it's alright, isn't it?
It's not just alright, it's amazing. I'm not just saying this, Colin. It's so good.
Thank you, sir.
I haven't had a sausage roll though for maybe 20.
Oh, really? So it could be really bad. It could be like, fucking, this is terrible.
No, it's yeah. When you presented it to me earlier, I mentioned that I wanted to make something vegan with flaky puff pastry, and I looked online. It was like this whole process to actually do it from scratch, and I did not think it was available from your, from the market, but apparently,
any supermarkets, all vegan puff pastry, which is a lifesaver, because if you try and make pastry, a lot of it, it's time consuming. But so you go into a band, became very successful, and then got another band together, and now you're not only doing a book, but you're still playing, writing, composing, but in a different way. I mean, if you're doing like TV and movies, because I got into that,
right?
Because it seemed to me like a natural progression.
Exactly, yeah. Especially being here in LA, and it's something you can kind of grow older doing. And after being on the road for like 20 years, and I have a family, and it was perfect. So I can stay at home now, and I can hopefully continue to make money. And also I enjoyed the challenge of it. So I've got a little story. First major gig I teamed up with this lovely guy, Doug DeAngelis, who he produced our last Love and Rockets album, Lift. That's how we met. He moved from New York to LA. He had always wanted to get into composing. Let's join together, and So we spent like about a year and a half, like sending unsolicited music to supervisors, which they hate. We discovered at a later date they don't like that.
They don't like that.
And fortunately, through my band background, I was able to go with any agency. The doors were open, so we went with CAA. And we'd spend a lot of time twiddling our thumbs and like trying to figure out how do we break into this. And one day, our agent called and said, "You're scoring Michael Mann's TV series on CBS.
Brilliant.
You've got to go to the spotting session today."
Right.
But like,
out of the blue?
Yes. What? Like, not even like meet with the guy, or you're hired. And so we had cobbled together this CD of music, some of which was from a student film I did, and some from a film Doug did that didn't get used for some reason, and we also made some like underscore, which looking back, it wasn't really underscore. And Michael heard this, and he heard something in there, and unfortunately there was a composer on the show, but he got fired after the first episode. And now we're doing it, so we went along to the spotting session, and we didn't know really what a spotting session was. And so we're sitting there, and there's the producers and music supervisor and music editor, and no Michael Mann. Can we turn this down a little bit?
Yes, we can.
So we sat there, literally not really doing much or saying much, and a few hours went by, and we're just waiting for Michael Mann. And got to lunchtime, went to lunch, and then we kind of started to like meet people, and like, "Oh, what have you worked on before?" And we were like, "Nothing." Like they're all seasoned, This was a CBS major network show, and anyway, eventually Michael showed up about 4 in the afternoon. He just breezed in and sat down, and we're starting, and so now they're using jargon like I can't remember, like we're going into like this is the end act, or the bumper, or act out, or different.
Something that we don't use in a rehearsal room with a band.
No, so me and Doug were writing these words down, and after the spotting session, we went to the music editor, and we're like, and he knew we were new at this, like everybody did, and we said, "Could you tell us what this means?" And he was like, "Oh, that means blah blah blah." And we just learned. We were thrown into the deep end, literally, and like working around the clock because it's so intense.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of time, like working into the wee hours of the night. And that's how we learned to score. And the music editor helped kind of give us a few tips. Like there's always one or two moments if we're in a scene that you've got to hit. Especially with TV, it usually has to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And so Michael Mann's kind of renowned for not really giving out compliments.
Yeah.
And about 8 episodes in, we were leaving the spotting session one day, and I was in front of him and he was behind me, and I just felt this nice work.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what did he say? And I said, I think he said nice work. So I went to tell the music editor, I was like, Michael Mann just spoke to me. Like,
Really?
what did he say? He said, nice work. And
Nice work.
the music editor said, you don't realise how that means that he loves you guys.
Right, that's brilliant, yeah.
Like that's like really big coming from him.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a weird one because it's totally different to being in a band. Totally different.
Oh, completely, yeah.
What I found, because I was fortunate at the time being with Universal, they were placing us in their movies, like Adam Sandler movies, and then I thought at that point, this is what I really want to do anyway for a long time. And I had the opportunity at that point, but it showed me that if it's such a closed circuit of people who actually get all the big gigs,
right?
And fortunately for us, being with the company we were in, I mean, I was thinking anyone trying out there must be so hard, to get the foot in the door, to actually be given the chance to score something. But
oh yeah.
But great fun because for me it was like, there's no. If you're in a band, you're in the band, and that's what the band sounds like. Whereas scoring, it could be anything.
Oh, sure.
Which is brilliant, from classical to rock to pop to goth or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So for a musician, again, for me, it was like, it was exciting. Right, back to the cooking.
Well, it's done.
Done. So what we need is some plates.
Yeah.
Should we try this? I can't wait.
I think we have to.
I can't wait.
I think we have to.
So do you just want to run over what we did very briefly? While I get the other plates out?
Sure, yeah. If I can refer to my notes.
Absolutely. Rude not to.
I'll just read down this so you have 4 cups of tempeh cut into small cubes, 4 tablespoons of olive oil for sauteing the onion, 2 teaspoons of mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, 2 teaspoons of, what's this say?
What's that, mate? Pudi gu gram.
Yeah.
God knows.
Masala powder.
Yes, masala.
1 cup of chopped red onion, 2 cans of organic salt-free tomatoes, or tomatoes. 2 cans of coconut cream, 10 cloves of diced garlic, 2 cups of white or brown rice or quinoa, whatever you fancy. So we put the quinoa on or the rice on, pretty much know how to cook that. Then with the main dish here, we sauteed the onion until it was caramelized. Was supposed to add the mustard seeds like towards the end of that process, but who's watching, Then add the canned tomatoes, the tempeh, and all the spices, and then garlic and coconut cream, and mix it all together and just let it like cook for about 10 to 15 minutes so the spices and juices like soak into the tempeh, and Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. Let's try it.
Yeah.
I'll just get a serving thing. You can do the serving, so.
Actually, would you mind, sir?
Okay. I'll serve it, sir. Bloody rock stars coming around my ass. Here we go. You can take this home with you if you want to.
I can what?
You can take some home with you.
Well, I thought you might like to
Well, I would.
have it for
There we are.
Yeah.
Have get a separate one for this. Put that in there.
So this would be a very good dish for dinner in the evening, I would suggest. But we're going to have it for lunch,
Yeah,
because it just happens to be lunchtime.
It looks good for any time of day, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bit that over there. There we are.
Marvellous. And like I said, this is packed with protein, so
Very good for you.
very good. Vegans, we all need our protein. And some people think that vegans miss out on protein, but actually there's many ways to get plenty of protein.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, it's just a matter of Google's great.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, just to look it all up.
Yeah. Do
'Cause,
some research.
Yeah. And there's no reason why people should get ill or. If
Well, you
anything,
see, I used to think, like when I was maybe in my teens or early 20s, that vegans were very odd,
yeah.
freaky people, and very pasty and very unhealthy.
Like your band.
I just described my band. Although we were not vegan.
Yeah.
And I know one of my best friends, Tony, his family, well, they brought kids up, 3 kids being vegan. They're in their 20s now, the oldest one, and they're very healthy.
Yeah.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
They actually don't usually get sick.
Yeah.
Like they're that healthy. So, there's proof there. That
Yeah.
it's you shouldn't be scared of considering becoming a vegan if you're worried about health, because it's actually. It seems to be healthier.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, the saying the cancer thing combats or brings the risk down
Yes.
because of all the stuff that they put in meat or
Yeah.
whatever they put in meat.
Well, I remember reading, when I was researching veganism, I came across this article. I don't know if this, it could be propaganda, but it was, it's about the Second World War, and the Nazis occupied, now I think it was Poland. I know they occupied France, but I think it was Poland.
Yeah.
Did they occupy?
They had a hard time.
Okay.
Polish, yeah.
And the armies took all the meat for themselves, and basically population of Poland was put on a vegan diet
Right.
for about 2 or 3 years. And during that time, when they look back at records, the casualties from cancer and heart disease plummeted during that time.
Amazing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, look into it, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try this anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get rid of this.
Should we? Oh, we can't see that.
No.
They won't be able to see.
Right, let's try it.
Okay.
Stunning.
Not bad. Right?
Well done, Governor.
Not bad at all.
That's great. Well done, Kevin. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.